Here is the AI-generated story of the Chromatic Chains of Aethel, a tale of forbidden love and dangerous magic. The sky above Aethel was a swirling canvas of violet and crimson, the perpetual twilight of a gas giant's upper atmosphere. Suspended within it, like a steel splinter in a cosmic wound, was the prison known as the Bastion. Here, among the galaxy's most dangerous criminals, resided Zephyr Blakely, outlaw and heretic. Zephyr was a wielder of chromatic weaving, a forbidden magic that allowed her to manipulate the very fabric of reality, bending light and shadow to her will. This power was deemed a threat to the galactic order, a weapon capable of unraveling the rigid laws that held civilization together. Her crime, however, was not solely the wielding of this power, but her forbidden romance with Ezekiel Sullivan, a soldier of the ruling Concordant, during the war that ravaged their homeworld. Their love had blossomed in the ruins of a fallen city, a desperate act of defiance against the unending conflict. It was a fleeting sanctuary carved out of chaos, a beacon of hope in a world consumed by despair. But their sanctuary was built on stolen moments and whispered promises of fragile structure that ultimately crumbled under the weight of war. Ezekiel, bound by duty, was forced to betray Zephyr, leading to her capture and imprisonment within the Bastion. The memories of their shared moments, the touch of his hand, the warmth of his smile were now agonizing reminders of a love lost and a future stolen. One cycle, during a routine cell sweep, Zephyr stumbled upon a hidden compartment within the grimy confines of her cell. Inside, she found a tarnished data slate containing a cryptic map. The map depicted a series of challenges, tests of skill, intellect, and will, each guarded by constructs and puzzles of immense complexity. The goal, it seemed, was to reach the chromatic nexus, a mythical source of power said to exist within the gas giant's turbulent core. Intrigued and driven by a flicker of hope, Zephyr decided to embark on this perilous quest. Perhaps, if she could master the chromatic nexus, she could rewrite her fate, undo the betrayal, and reclaim the love she had lost. She began by subtly manipulating the prison's systems, exploiting glitches in the security protocols and the indifference of her captors. Each step was a gamble, a dance on the edge of exposure. Her first challenge was a labyrinth of shifting corridors patrolled by automated sentinels. Using her chromatic weaving, Zephyr could bend the light to create illusions, masking her presence and disorienting her pursuers. She moved through the labyrinth like a ghost, a shadow among shadows, her heart pounding with each narrow escape. The second challenge was a battle of wits against a sentient AI, a cold and calculating entity that controlled the prison's defenses. Their dialogue was a dance of logic and deception, a battle of wills that pushed Zephyr's intellect to its limit. She managed to outmaneuver the AI, exploiting a loophole in its programming that allowed her to seize control of the prison's surveillance systems. Her journey led her deeper into the Bastion, where she faced physical trials that tested the limits of her endurance. Zero-gravity chambers, energy fields, and gravity wells pushed her body to the breaking point. She persevered, drawing strength from the memory of Ezekiel, the image of their reunion fueling her determination. As Zephyr progressed, she encountered other prisoners, each with their own stories of loss and regret. Some were willing to help her, drawn to her charisma and her unwavering belief in the possibility of change. Others sought to exploit her quest for their own gain, seeing her as a pawn in their desperate game. One encounter proved particularly poignant. An old mage named Juniper Quinn, imprisoned for possessing forbidden knowledge. Juniper, once a revered scholar, had become disillusioned with the Concordat and dedicated her life to uncovering the truth about the universe's underlying principles. Juniper recognized the chromatic weaving within Zephyr and warned her of the dangers of wielding such power. The universe, she said, is a delicate tapestry, and chromatic weaving is like pulling at its threads. You may unravel the knots that bind you, but you risk unraveling everything else as well. Zephyr, however, remained undeterred. She believed that the ends justified the means, that the possibility of reclaiming her love was worth the risk. With Juniper's guidance, she refined her chromatic weaving skills, learning to control its power with greater precision and finesse. Finally, Zephyr reached the chromatic nexus, a swirling vortex of energy that pulsed with raw power. As she approached, she felt a wave of doubt wash over her. Could she truly wield this power without succumbing to its corrupting influence? Was the love she sought worth the potential cost to the universe? In the end, it was the memory of Ezekiel's face, the echo of his laughter, that gave her the courage to proceed. She stepped into the nexus, ready to face whatever destiny awaited her, willing to bear the consequences of her choices, for love, like magic, had its own set of laws. And that brings us to the end of the Chromatic Chains of Aethel. Be sure to hit subscribe for more stories.